Hi, I'm going to show you how to plant garlic today. Garlic's pretty easy to plant, and there are two varieties. There's hardneck and softneck. If you're in the north, generally you'll plant hardneck, but you can plant the softneck also. In the south, generally the softneck. This is hardneck garlic here. You want to plant it in the late fall or the early winter. I planted this in the early winter and really didn't do much with it except plant it, and now I've got some nice garlic. This is one that I just dug up. It's the middle of July. The middle of July is when you harvest it. We'll talk more about that later. So I'm about to harvest this, and I thought I would talk about planting it also. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to plant them about 5 to 6 inches apart, the cloves, the individual cloves. All right, this would be the bulb here. You don't plant a whole bulb, you break it apart into the cloves like this, okay, and you plant these individual cloves. All right, this is some of the garlic bulbs here. This is this variety here that I planted, and I honestly don't know what variety it is. I just planted it. I got some from some Amish people up the road, and I planted some. Okay, and it grows for them and it grows for me. But anyways, so you want to take your individual cloves, all right, and there are two ends to the clove. There's the pointed end right there. There's the pointed end, and then on the bottom they call that the blunt end. Okay, and so I'm going to plant these 5 to 6 inches apart. It doesn't matter if you're a little bit off. You can see some of these I got closer, some of these a little farther apart. 5 to 6 inches is a general guideline. They say you can go as close as 3 inches together. I'd stick closer to 4 or 5 and a maximum of 6. All right, and so I'm going to go out here. I'm just going to dig down. Your soil does matter, but as long as you have good topsoil or sandy soil, you're fine. If it's heavy clay, you want to work it up, work it a little bit and put some peat or some rotted manure in there. Okay, so I'm going to dig this down. All right, and you want to plant it. You want to plant it 1 to 2 inches down. Remember, the pointy end of the clove is going to be up. You dig down, put this down. Go ahead, show it in the hole there. Can you see it there? Okay, put it like that, pointy end up. That's about 1.5 inches down. Just fill the hole back up with it in there. Tap it down. Do this in the end of fall or early winter, and you're done. Then you go about another 5 inches or so. Dig another hole. Okay, and pointy end up, blunt end down. Put it down in the hole, about 1 to 2 inches down there. 1.5 inches is the safe bet. Cover it up, tap it down. You're done. That will grow. Okay. If it gets really dry, water it some, but you basically are going to put this in the ground in the late fall, early winter, and you're done. It's just going to come up early in the spring, and you can watch it grow. Weed it a little bit, it'll be fine. All right, now whenever you go to harvest it, generally, I'm here in Pennsylvania, you generally want to harvest it about the middle of July or a little later. You want to look at the stems, okay, and when they start to get brown, when they're about half of the leaves are brown, that's about the time to harvest it. So it's green up top, starts to brown down here, okay, that's when you want to harvest it, about the middle of July. This is one that I just pulled out, okay, and you can see I've got 1, 2, 3 leaves that are brown, and then 1, 2, 3 that are green. They're starting to get brown, and that's when you tell. Also, you can tell by the flower. When it starts to flower, you're getting close to harvest. Now, some people will watch this and they'll cut this flower out But I don't. I don't think it makes much difference. Some people say you'll get bigger bulbs if you cut the flower out ahead of time. I don't do it. This is big enough. Okay. And so when you harvest it, what you want to do is you don't want to just grab it and yank it out. You'll damage the bulb a little bit. I mean, you won't ruin it, but it won't store as well. You want to make sure that you dig it out. And I'm going to dig another one out here for you. Okay. And so just go around it. Let's do it with my hands. This dirt's nice and loose here. And go down. I planted this one pretty deep here. Okay, I want to go around it. All right, get down. I'm digging around the bulb. Boy, this one's pretty down. This one's down there pretty good. Okay, I see it now. All right, I'm going to loosen it up around it, and then I'm pulling it out, and there it is. Okay, and this is 100% organically grown. No sprays necessary on this. And another nice benefit with growing garlic, at least around here, is it's one of the few things that the white-tailed deer do not eat. So most of my other things that I grow, I have to have them fenced in or the deer destroy them. All right, they will not touch this garlic, and it grows on its own. It's organic, and it's really good. And so that's about it. It's pretty simple. You dig your hole, and you plant it with the pointy end of the clove up. Put it down about 1 to 2 inches. I usually go about 1.5. Cover it up with dirt. Go another 5 inches. Plant another 1, and just go right down your row, and go about a foot between the rows, and just plant some. You can go to the grocery store and buy a bag of garlic and break it up and plant it. That'll work too. All right, you don't have to have any special variety. Some people will say not to do that, but we're going to walk down, and I'm going to show you where I just threw some of this in my compost pile on the edge of the woods. Some of the garlic that that I didn't use from the grocery store, I threw it in there over the course of a few years, and I've just got a big, huge garlic patch that just grew on its own. So you can get this out of the grocery store and plant it too. It'll probably work. And like I said, this stuff I got some from some Amish people up the road a while back, and I planted it, and it grows fine too. So that's how to plant garlic. It's easy. It's good. It's completely organic. You don't have to do anything with it except water it, weed it a little bit, and you'll really like it. It's kind of neat to see it come up in the spring. So I think I got everything. I'm gonna walk down. We'll stop the video here for a little bit, and then I'll just splice in the other patch there. That's the basics on growing garlic. I think you should try it. It's easy to do. The deer don't bother it, and it's fun to eat. Now this is the garlic I was telling you about. I don't know what this is going to look like to you. It might look like a bunch of weeds, but you can see the white tops here. And I just threw garlic from the supermarket in here. This is where I throw like compost and stuff that it's kind of like a natural composting area. Any stuff I get out of the garden, like weeds or whatever, I just always throw it here. And so I just threw some garlic from the supermarket here a couple years ago, and it's a combination now of weeds, and that's what it always is here, but there's just garlic growing all over the place in here. And I haven't harvested any of this yet. I'm just kind of letting it go to see what happens to it. But I mean, there's a ton growing in here, and it just keeps spreading out. It goes way back in there, probably like 15 feet, and it's probably like about 10 feet wide here, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So that's just an illustration of it's not that difficult to plant garlic. I literally just threw some bulbs from the supermarket in here and just left it alone, and this is about 3 years of it growing on its own here. And I think I'm going to harvest some of it this year. But it's kind of neat that it's growing on its own, and it goes to seed and the seeds drop down and it just spreads. So this is my wild garlic patch from the supermarket, so to speak. Talk to you later.